Episode 58. Episode 58. It's episode 58 of Talking with Tasha. All right. Thank you so much for coming back for episode 58 of Talking with Tasha. Or, no, Talking with Tasha and Trey Lostcast. The third episode of that, if you're keeping track. But overall, it's the 58th episode of my podcast, the third episode where we recap Lost. There we go. Wrapped it up in a nutshell. I hope you're all enjoying your March. Here we are. It's March. Usually, I talk a little bit about what I'm watching and everything, but I do that with Trey coming up here. So just keep listening for that. But I do want to thank everybody that sent their condolences and well wishes to my dad and my family about the passing of my stepmom. I really appreciate it. It's times like that when you realize the internet can be used for good and not evil, because it's nice to hear. I don't know. It's just nice to know that people care or send messages or share stories. And so I thank you for that. Not to be too much of a Debbie Downer, but I just wanted to make sure I thanked everybody for all their well wishes, of course. And let's just jump right in, I guess. So here is episode 3 of Talking with Tasha plus Trey, Lostcast, Tabula Rasa. One more note before we get started. This podcast, especially Lostcast, is trying my every nerve when it comes to technical difficulties. The evening that we recorded this, I had just moved my recording equipment from desk to desk, and apparently I didn't hook something up correctly, so I had to use my AirPods. So if it sounds a little different, it's AirPods, okay? You get what you get and you don't throw a fit. Anyway, here we go. Episode 3, Tabula Rasa.
We're back for episode 3.
Wee!
But, before we get into the Lost stuff, I want to ask if you have watched the new White Lotus at all. Are you a White Lotus person?
So we watched the first season and enjoyed it, but not enough to continue. It was fine. I think it was Murray Bartlett taking a shit in a suitcase where we were both just, no.
Gosh.
I never need to see somebody's poop come out of their butt. I never need to see that.
That was one of those moments where I was like, oh, they're showing it. Oh, okay.
Murray Bartlett has that on the internet forever now.
So then someone the other day asked me, though, they're like, so what's it about? Like, why is it such a big show? And I was like, well, it's basically rich people being terrible. So that's basically.
Yeah. We love that shit, right? It's mostly, God, I could get on a soapbox about theater and hubris and how, like, back in the time of the Greeks, they were trying to challenge the gods, and the gods were like, no, that's why bad things happen to Oedipus and Jocasta and Creon, because they have the farthest to fall. Rich people and people with power have the farthest to fall. Nobody likes to see a poor person fall. That just sucks.
You're not wrong. But then we love a comeback too when someone rich and powerful. Well, usually we like a comeback. It depends,
Yeah.
But
I don't know so much about in 2025. But hey,
right. Also, I know it's been a while ago, but did you watch the Grammys? Any thoughts? Concerns?
I did watch the Grammys. I had a lot of fun with the Grammys.
Yeah.
Benson Boone and his little jumpsuit and his flips.
I mean, how can you not love that?
Right? Like, the gays in my group chat we were all aflutter when we saw that jumpsuit. Just, oh. And then apparently the Benson had to apologize after he adjusted his crotch after flipping off of a piano 7 times. Yeah, things are going to get bunchy and weird.
Yeah, I was like, no one was upset. I don't know who was upset. We weren't upset. It's fine.
Baptists, I don't know.
But I was and don't get me wrong, it's not that I don't like Kendrick Lamar, but I was just surprised he won when he was against all the pop girlies, because it really was a year for the pop girlies,
It was, but that song is
I know.
killer. It's fantastic.
And I loved that Beyonce won Best Country Album. I cared about her winning that more than Album of the Year, just for the spite of it all.
So I was watching and like doing other things. Nick was in the other room, like half watching while doing work, and she wins best country album. And I said, "Oh my god, they did that! They
Mm-hmm.
gave her best cut." And like I saw a lot of the chatter online afterwards, just oh, she looks so surprised. Yeah, right. No, she was legitimately surprised. Y'all go
Yes.
back and
Yes.
watch that video for just like
She's not that good of an
freezing.
actress. I mean, she was in Dreamgirls and stuff, but she's not that
Fox and
good.
Cleopatra.
What was the other thing? Oh, have you been watching Paradise at all on Hulu?
No, I want to so much. I'm our schedules have been so crazy this month, and we try to watch shows together sometimes. And Paradise is one of those shows we want to watch together. Now, that said, Nick and I are not going to be in the same place really to watch shows until April.
Okay. Well, by then you can really binge it though, so that'll be fun.
This is true, which is what we're waiting for Severance to be finished with this season, so that way we can re-up our Apple TV subscription and watch all of Severance and all of Silo. It's going to be great.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm kind of waiting with the new Yellow Jackets. I
Another
traded
show that we
my,
keep saying we're going to start, and then we just don't.
but for the new season, since it's a Showtime show, I think you can watch it on Paramount Plus. But I use my friend's Paramount Plus, and of course, she has like the cheapest one, and this is not part of that or something. I don't know. There's always something.
We can
So,
text later because
so
it's one of the few
okay,
ones that we have exciting things with.
okay. So, but I was kind of like you were saying with Apple, though. I was gonna just wait for the whole season to be done and then like do a free month something and then like
Yeah,
watch it all.
the bless Apple TV, we just didn't utilize it. And
Yeah,
I'm like, I can't pay $8 a month when I'm
yeah.
paying $8 a month for everything else.
I know. And the other thing, I don't know, and if you haven't been watching much TV, whereas it seems I make time for TV no matter what, but
Sure.
I just finished Apple Cider Vinegar on Netflix about like a wellness influencer that lied about having cancer. And then I also watched Scamanda, which is about a woman who lied about having cancer. And then I watched Anatomy of Lies, which is also about a woman who lied about having cancer. What is up with everybody lying about having cancer? Like, what is going on?
Well, you see, there are some very broken people in this world who need to have all of the publicity always for all of the things, and they just do that. I've not been watching all of those things. Apple cider vinegar's on my list. I was told though that I've heard mixed reviews, just like, why is this a show?
That they break the fourth wall sometimes. So I kind
Okay,
of like when shows do that and are kind of funny with it. And then but of course, I went down a deep dive after watching it, and it follows three women. The main girl that is a real person and lied about having cancer, and then the two other characters are kind of amalgamations of other people. Like they're
sure.
not totally true stories, and so I'm kind of like, well, and they even start each episode saying this is a mostly true story about a fake person or about a fake story kind of thing. You know what I mean? Because she lied
Right,
about
right.
it. So, I mean, they're pretty open about like not everything in here is 100%, but it is just kind of, it opens your eyes, especially in that, to this whole like wellness culture and wellness influencers and
Oh, wellness
like,
culture.
right, like it's one thing like, sure, yeah, eating healthy, that's going to be good for you
Sure,
in lots of ways,
absolutely.
but it's not, I don't know. She starts doing like the one girl does coffee enemas to try to cure her cancer, and I'm like, what?
This is just a PSA. Don't put things in your butt that shouldn't go in your butt. And a coffee enema doesn't sound fun. Like, cool.
No, it does
Here's
not.
if let me talk to you about bottoming in the gay world for a moment. So, besides all of that, but like bottoms have to do a lot of prep work in order
Yes.
to have the sex in that position. But there are so many guys that say, "Hey, don't do all that prep work every single day because you're gonna screw up like your intestines. If you're gonna do a complete clean, do it like once a month at the most. Do you really need it
Yeah.
that much anyways?" But that's not what this podcast is. Like if we like had talking with Tasha and Trey after dark.
No, but speaking of that, as a female, we're told
Yeah.
like douching is bad.
No,
Cleaning
don't.
out some of that stuff, like your body naturally takes care of some of that. You don't need
Right.
to do all this extra.
If there's a strange smell down there, please fix, your body is telling you, hey, something's weird. Don't Summer's Eve it to death. It doesn't need to smell like
Febreze is not a
peaches.
cure. Yeah, you're gonna.
Please.
If it smells really bad, it's probably bacterial vaginosis, and you need some antibiotics for that.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, episode 3. It's my turn to be in charge, sort of, kind of. And this episode is called. I got a new monitor up here, so if it looks like I'm like looking to the sky, my notes.
I've always enjoyed your neck. It's fine.
You want to look up my nose holes? But okay. Episode 3, it's called Tabula Rasa. And the first note I had is, what the F does that mean? So I Googled it. It is from the philosopher Locke. We know that name. Tabula rasa was the theory that at birth, the human mind is a blank slate without rules for processing data, and that data is added and rules for processing are formed solely by one's sensory experiences. So do with that information what you will as we continue.
Yeah, it's just about you're a blank slate.
Mm-hmm.
And everything you do.
And I feel like them crashing on this island is kind of it's a blank slate for a lot of them.
Well,
they're starting
so
over.
I just rewatched this episode just to put it in my brain. And Jack has a line towards the end of the episode. There's like, I'm
we'll
sure you're going to talk about it.
Okay, so on the previously, if for those of you that forgot, Jack did surgery on the shrapnel guy. Kate was sitting, or she goes, this is terrible, I don't understand my own notes. Oh, Jack asked Kate about shrapnel guy, do you know him? And she just says, oh, he was sitting next to me on the plane. It was a little more than that, but not totally a lie, but kind of. Locke tells Walt a secret. We don't know what that is yet. Shrapnel man says, don't trust her. We have to bring her back. And he asks about handcuffs. We're in the episode now. Sorry, I didn't do that very well. So we open with the survivors going through luggage and stuff, getting ready, we're going to be, we've been here a few days. So let's start to organize a little bit. Shrapnel man is talking a little bit after his surgery and stuff. And he keeps saying, don't trust her. Like, he's obsessed with Kate. Like, he will not shut up. The man is on his deathbed and will not shut up. He's asking about the handcuffs and we have to bring her back. And Jack just says, oh, your fever's really high. You probably don't even know what you're talking about. And he goes, jacket pocket. And so Jack checks the jacket pocket and there's a mugshot of Kate with hair in her face, of course. Jack is like, well, shit, the hot chick is dangerous. And then he's like, maybe that's even hotter. I don't know, So
there are so many points throughout this episode that I'm just like, Jack is the worst. He's so dumb and boring. And this was one of them. I'm just like, ugh, whatever.
Yeah, and he makes a complete 180 about caring about what Kate did in this episode. Like, at one point, he's like, we'll get to it, but he's like, tell me what she did. And then at the end, it's like, he doesn't care anymore, I guess. Anyway,
strange.
And then we cut to the hikers, and Kate's hair is almost all up, but not quite. There's still some strands out blowing in her face. And I am going to bring this up every time. So just get ready for it.
Listeners, take a drink every time she mentions Kate's hair, and then call the emergency room.
Because it's always in her face, and it drives me crazy. Okay, so they decide they're going to make camp, and Sawyer wants to keep walking, but Kate says, trust me, you don't want to walk by yourself. You won't make it by yourself. Because she has the PTSD from seeing the pilot get sucked out of the cockpit by something. And then, dangling in a tree all bloody. And then Saeed is demonstrating what has happened to them with rocks and sticks on fire and stuff, and how
it's a beautiful visual. It's
and Kate's kind of telling them what the pilot told them about how they're off course, and they're kind of trying to figure out where they are and what's happening. Sawyer says, well, I enjoyed the puppet show, and then he calls Saeed Abdul, and it is kind of funny the nicknames he comes up with.
I restarted. I'm gonna have that list. I almost feel like we need like a Tumblr account just to have all of this.
So Sawyer says, enjoyed the puppet show, and he calls Saeed Abdul, and then he calls Kate Freckles. And so then they talk about the transmission a little more like, what does this mean? It's on a loop, all this stuff. Saeed says he doesn't want to tell the others because it will just cause them to panic, and he doesn't want to take away their hope because, hope is a motivator and like a morale and all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
he's not wrong.
Yeah. And then we cut back to the beach, and Hurley says they're talking about the crash or like what the monster is in the jungle. And
Yeah.
Hurley goes, how do you know it's not a dinosaur? And Jack goes, because dinosaurs are extinct. So many jokes. I forgot how funny this show is sometimes.
And truly, it does feel like Hurley is that blank slate, that tabula rasa. Just, oh, this is new information. Okay, God, I love Hurley. I love him so much.
And then Shrapnel Man, he looks pretty rough. He looks pretty yellow and icky, and Hurley states the obvious and says he doesn't look good. And then Hurley happens to see Kate's mugshot because Jack's just leaving it hanging around, I guess. And Hurley's like, "Oh, dude, she looks hardcore. What do you think she did?"
And Sir, it's a mugshot. Everybody looks hardcore in a mugshot.
And then Jack says, "It's none of our business," and then lost. So now it's the title card. That was all before like title card credits. Okay, so now we are back to the hikers camping. Boone is trying to get the gun out of, I forget who has it now. Everybody has a piece of it. So he's getting the gun out of, so Boone's trying to grab the gun, and because he says he's going to stand guard while they sleep or whatever. But he's like doing it while they sleep. So it's really like sinister and weird, and what are you doing? And then they all wake up because they're like, what's going on? And then Sawyer calls Saeed Al Jazeera. It's terrible, but I did chuckle a little.
It's a little funny, but then like Charlie goes, "That's a news station," and he's correct.
Right. And then they all, for some reason, decide that maybe Kate should keep the gun, probably because she was the one before that did kind of resolve the situation by like taking it apart or whatever. But they also don't know the mugshot.
Right, but she's the most level-headed. I mean, she's the second most level-headed in that group. The first most is Saeed, but racism. So they weren't going to give him the gun.
And I put, they don't know yet that she's hardcore. So, and then we get our first sort of Kate flashback before the plane flashback. So this is like going way back. So
was this one of our first flashbacks not on the plane?
I think so. Yeah. I think this is cool. Yeah. She wakes up to a gun, go figure, but this time it's like a rifle, and she's getting kicked out of a barn, and she slept in some guy's sheep pen. She's in Australia. She tells the farmer that her name is Annie, and the farmer decides to treat her like one of the sheep and feed her. He invites her inside and kind of talks to her, feeds her breakfast. She says she's Canadian in this, and I can't remember if that's a lie or not.
I know that Evangeline Lilly is Canadian.
Yeah. And she said she ran out of money after college when she decided to go out and see the world. Like, that's the story she's telling this guy for why she was sleeping in a barn. He asks if she wants to stick around and help him on the farm. His wife just died. He's got a fake arm. And he keeps talking about how he's got this mortgage that's like one hell of a mortgage. And so he could use some help on the farm. He says, "I will pay you a little something, something if you help me out." And then we're back.
And by a little something, something, we do mean money. Don't take Natasha's like something, something to mean something else.
Okay, there's
dollars.
Nothing sexual between these two. So we're back on the beach. The transceiver, the hikers are back on the beach. We're all back on the beach now, and the hikers tell everybody that the transceiver failed to pick up a signal, so they are lying. Saeed says, though, he can use other electronics to try to make the signal stronger, and he thinks they should start rationing food and collecting water. And so again, they're kind of doing some more organizing and preparing and stuff. But of course, Kate can't keep the secret. She runs to Jack right away. "I need to tell you something."
I mean, Kate, I understand it though, because they've decided that Jack is a doctor, so he's the leader of the group.
So Kate tells Jack about the signal, and everyone's dead. It's been on a loop. It's in French, all that stuff. But Jack, because of the mugshot, thinks, oh, maybe she's going to tell me about that. She does not. Hurley he sees that these two are talking off in the distance a bit, and Hurley looks worried that those two are walking off together, like she's going to just attack him at any moment or something now that she has a mugshot. And so Jack and Kate are having this conversation, and Kate's telling about the transceiver message, and then Jack just goes, anything else you might want to get off your chest? And then Kate just asks about Shrapnel Guy, and she's trying to fish for hints to if he said anything about her. And so Jack is also lying because he has talked about Kate, and he tells him, there's a lot of lying going on right now.
Learned anything, it's communication is key. Always tell the
It
truth.
is. And so back on the beach, they're sorting stuff, carrying chairs. Hurley asks what Jack talked to her about, and he says they didn't talk about it, and it's not their business, meaning the mugshot and stuff. And he needs stronger antibiotics for Shrapnel Guy. Jack suggests going through the luggage in the overhead compartments, but Hurley just looks at him like, where the bodies are, which I get. I mean, it is kind of creepy to be in there where a bunch of people died. And Jack says he'll handle it. So he, because he's got to be the hero. So he's in the fuselage looking for some stronger meds and stuff. So he starts hearing weird stuff in the plane, and he's getting all nervous, like maybe the jungle monster's in the plane now. But nope, it's just Sawyer. Boo. But Sawyer's not in there trying to be helpful. He's looting for himself. He's found food and cigarettes and some Playboys, he says. Sawyer doesn't.
But I can't be mad at Sawyer during all of this.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going to happen. Let me get some stuff that's going to make me comfortable. And if that includes cigarettes and Playboy, by all means, give yourself cancer and have a happy handshake. Like,
oh gosh. And Sawyer says that he doesn't think Jack is looking at the bigger picture. He says Jack is still back in civilization. Why use all these meds on this dying guy? He's kind of saying, like, we should be saving some of this stuff for we don't know what,
he's not wrong.
I know. It sounds so.
It sounds cold,
rude,
and cruel.
But it makes sense. Yeah. But anyway, now we're out of the fuselage, and Claire and Charlie put a suitcase on a wheelchair to move it easier. And Charlie says, well, whoever's this was is probably better off than we are right now. And one, what? And two, because if they're dead, they're better off? What does that mean?
If they're dead, they don't have to deal with this. And
two, I know it's foreshadowing, spoiler alert, about Locke, but still weird that he would say that.
Yeah.
Kind of, I don't know.
He's flirting and trying to make conversation. And truly, would you rather be dead from the plane crash or trying to figure out how to survive on an island and maybe not getting rescued because it's been 3 days?
Yeah.
Well, 3 episodes. I don't know how many days it's been.
Right. But when people say, like, what would you do in a zombie apocalypse? I'm like, I hope I'm dead because.
Yeah. I live in New York City. I'm going to be dead within about 20 minutes.
Well, because my whole deal is, like, I don't even like camping.
No, ma'am.
Yeah, like, I don't want to live in a world without plumbing. I don't know what you're talking about. So
I grew up in a poorly insulated farmhouse 2 miles from anywhere. I don't want to do that again.
Exactly. Sun and Jin are looking through bags. Sun thinks that she's found Jin's bag, but nope, it's not his. And then Jin, of course, they're speaking Korean, but Jin takes this time to tell Sun that she's filthy and she needs to go wash up. And I'm like, excuse me, we're stranded on an island, who cares? But then he says, I love you. And I roll my eyes.
He loves the idea of her. He doesn't actually love her. Ugh.
Yeah. And then we're back to Charlie and Claire. Charlie subtly asks if Claire's husband was on the flight, and she says she's not married. And Charlie seems a little too excited that she's an unwed mom to be. Like, he's like stoked.
We love Charlie. Charlie's kind of a creepy dude.
And then Hurley runs into Kate. He's filling up water bottles, and they just happen to kind of like, he turns around and she's like right there. And he is just petrified because she's hardcore, So he's like,
so funny.
So he just goes, I was gonna get more water. And then she still has the gun from the hike, in her belt thing, how they do. She's strapped. Is that what the kids say? I don't know. But anyway.
Sure. She's packing heat.
Yeah. He sees the gun and he gets really even more nervous and is just like, okay, bye. And he's probably super nervous because you can never see her whole face and she's very mysterious. She's just full of secrets. Her hair is full of secrets. Like in Girls.
Gretchen Wieners, right? Her hair is so
Yep.
big because that's where she hides the secrets.
Yep. Okay. And now it's raining because everyone's hotter when they're wet. And Kate Kate is hovering over Shrapnel Man like a weird, like she's literally just watching him breathe, kind of. It's kind of weird. And then all of a sudden it gets kind of slow motion, and then we're back to a flashback. We're back on the farm, and she's digging
Sidebar.
around.
I hated that effect so much. Like the we no longer have sound, and we're getting like that mid-aughts 90s like shaky camera, like frame by
Yeah.
frame by hair piece.
Yeah.
It was awful.
Yes. And of course her hair was in her face. So
What a
um
time.
we're back on the farm, and she's rooting around in the pantry. She's hid her money in a can in there, and it's like nighttime. And then she turns around, and the farmer's there. He finds her trying to sneak out. We find out that she's been on the farm for about 3 months. And he says, you don't have to leave like this. I'll drive you to the train station in the morning. I thought we had a good thing going, but, no hard feelings, whatever. And so she digresses in her layered tanks, and she goes back inside. And now we're back on the beach with Kate, weirdly in slow motion. It starts that way again. And she's still above Shrapnel Man, and he wakes up and starts choking her. He uses his last bit of strength on this planet to try to choke this woman.
This man, what
Like,
is
why
your
are you so
deal?
obsessed with me?
Why are you obsessed with me? What is your it's giving incel?
Yeah, it is.
It oh,
And he literally goes from like the brink of death to having all this strength to like strangle this person. It's so
it's his
crazy.
last gasp.
And then, of course, Jack runs up and he's like, "What'd you do?" And she's like, "Nothing. I was just hovering weirdly over him, watching him breathe."
Right, but also when he finds them, like Shrapnel Man is sitting up and like over her, choking her. You
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
blame Kate for him.
Right.
Victim
And then
blaming. I don't
Jack,
like.
I know. And then Jack turns into doctor mode, and he's listing all the things that's wrong with him: internal bleeding, fever, rigid something. I don't know, going on and on. I should know more. I've watched a lot of ER, but anyway. He lists all the things that's wrong with him. And then I still think, but somehow he found the strength to try to kill Kate.
Yeah.
And this is all happening while it's raining, by the way. This was under a little tarp shelter thing, and it's still raining. And so they're out in the rain now, and Kate says, "Can't you just put him out?" Like something along the lines of, "Can't you put him out of his misery? He's gonna die." And then Jack takes this time to say, "I saw your mugshot, and I'm not a murderer." But we don't know that she is either.
We don't know that
Like,
she is.
yeah. But I was like, ooh, that seemed uncalled for, mister. What happened to it's none of our business, And I get that like doctors take that oath to do no harm, but I mean, if this was a
Oh,
horse, we'd put it down. You know what I
I
mean?
have
Like,
so much to say when we get to Saeed's moment with
yeah, yeah.
Jack.
And then her wet hair is in her face, and she's just, oh shit, they do know. Like they know my secret or whatever, or they at least know I was the prisoner, whatever. But they don't really know. It's just they know something. They think they know something. But at least they all look good wet, is what we're learning. And then we're back in the flashback. They're driving in the farmer's truck listening to Patsy Cline. I don't know why I just said Patsy. They're listening to Patsy Cline.
Check your driver's license, pumpkin.
I will say, okay, Iowa's not that far from South Dakota, but I did move north, and I swear more of those little like, oh, don't you know, little things come out.
Oh yeah,
Like
you went closer to the Canadian border, and that shucks oh gosh of Minnesota and South
it
Dakota.
seeps in. It seeps in. Anyway, there's a car that starts following them, and she and Kate's starting to get suspicious. And well, shit, the farmer set her up, and she goes, "How long have you known?" And he says, "I've known you've been wanted for a couple days." He saw a picture of her at the post office or something, and he turns her in for the reward money. It's $23,000, and he does have one hell of a mortgage. So part of you wants to be mad at him, but then you're also like, I don't know.
But also, he doesn't know her. We don't know what she did. It's not like she shot a CEO on the streets of New York or anything.
That's a whole other thing, but okay.
A whole other thing.
I have thoughts on that as well. Anyway, he says he does feel bad about it, but he still did it. And then, dun, 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 Shrapnel Man is in the car next to them to try to get her. And then we cut back to the beach. Walt and Michael are kind of under a tarp to try not to get wet, but yet Michael is still drenched, and they're like napping, I guess. And or no, wait, they're under tarp. Michael asks what Locke was talking to Walt about and his secret. Oh, I'm jumping ahead. Michael and Walt are talking.
Yes.
And Michael asks Walt what the creepy old man, John Locke, was talking to him about. And he said he had a secret. And Michael's like, well, what did he say? And Locke said that a miracle happened.
I'm not a parent, but if my child said that an old man that we all find kind of creepy has secrets with him and there was a miracle,
Yeah.
there's going to be shrapnel in other places because
Yeah.
it's
Bad
just like
vibe.
the first thing that you think of, right?
Mm-hmm. And then Michael does it. He's like, I don't want you talking to that guy anymore.
Honestly
And
fair.
then, yeah. And then Michael says something like, but I'm going to find your dog. And he says, as soon as it stops raining, I'm going to find your dog. Like, don't be so mad. We're going to find your dog. And then what do you know? It stops raining. So,
And the look that Walt gives Michael is just, it's done raining, Dad. Why are you still
yeah.
here? It's so good.
And so then we cut to Michael out in the jungle looking for the dog. And he's like, kind of whacking through the brush. And he's like, this haunted damn jungle. And he's like, cursing under his breath and stuff. And he hears some noises and kind of a roaring, scowling, growling,
Yeah.
rustling, according to my captions. That's what it said. And then, so Michael starts running. He's running through some really tall grass, scary music. It's intense. And then all of a sudden, abruptly, it stops because he runs into Sun, who is topless, pretty much naked, cleaning up, washing up because she was
Yep.
filthy. And Michael tries to explain why he was running, and it's really awkward. He's like, I swear something was chasing me, but there's obviously nothing there now, so it just looks really weird.
It looks like
And
he accidentally stumbled upon someone having a
yeah.
private moment because we still don't know the geography of this island as people who were just crash landed here.
Mm-hmm.
And he does stay there an inordinately long amount of time.
Yeah.
Just like,
It's
sir,
very long. It's way too
she's
long.
topless. Go away.
He hands Sun her clothes and says he didn't see anything, which is a lie because of
Yeah.
course he did. And then Shrapnel Man, we're back on the other part of the beach. Shrapnel Man is moaning in pain. Locke is making a whistle, and at first you're like, this guy's so weird. And Charlie asks him about the whistle, and then he says, I used tribal flutes once with my band. Weird flex, but okay.
What a
And then
white dude thing to say.
everyone's favorite Shannon, again, she's not wrong. She just doesn't have the best delivery. She says, I wish he would just die already. And Boone says, real humane, Shannon. But to me, I think it is humane.
That
Like,
is
honestly, if he was a horse or a dog or almost any other animal, they would have just made him comfortable and put him out of his misery. Like, why are we trying to save this guy? It seems
right.
harsh, but he's gonna.
You're a Oof.
And personally, I want you to put me on. I don't want to die a slow, painful death. I don't
No.
like nobody does. Anyway,
Do you want to
anyway.
watch the saddest documentary in the world? Huh. When I was real depressed, don't know why I watched it then, but I did. There's a documentary called How to Die in Oregon. It's
Oh,
gorgeous, but it centers, I think it's 3 terminal patients. And Oregon is one of the few states in this nation where you can have medically assisted suicide. Where
okay.
like your medical provider will be like, these are the drugs. I am putting them beside you and I am leaving. What you do with them, when you do it, is up to you. And there's
Yeah,
the final moment of that documentary is heartbreaking, but also a little triumphant.
that's dying with dignity. Like
Yes, and that's they're dying with their death with dignity laws
okay. Enough about euthanasia for now.
for now. Cool.
Saeed says, rumor has it you can't save him, talking to Jack. And Jack just takes his water and goes back to the tent. He doesn't say anything.
Yeah, and I know that's what I was going to say a lot when Saeed got to it, and that was everything I was going to say was right just before that. Like, he's not wrong. Like, the people are saying
Yeah.
that you can't save him, And no, you can't.
Yeah. Sawyer was saying earlier, if we were back in civilization, you would have the IV fluids and the antibiotics in a clean working
Right.
area, but we don't have that.
Jack
So,
is
yeah.
truly just too busy being a hero rather than a human.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just leading to all of these really bad human decisions.
Yeah.
Hubris.
And then we cut back to Kate trying to start a fire on the beach. Sawyer has a lighter. He offers it to her to start this fire. And he says, I came to thank you. And she says, what for? And he says, for taking the gun. Sawyer says, I sure wouldn't want to be the one with the gun right now because the only one that can help that dying man is the one with the gun. And then he's like, don't act so surprised. I heard you tell the hero, Jack, that, that basically like everyone's basically saying like, Jack, just this man needs to
Right.
die.
You can't save
So,
him. You keep hoping, but sometimes hope is misplaced.
Sawyer says there's only one bullet left. It would actually be kind of poetic if you think about it. And I was kind of like, oh, that's so kind of a bummer that they did find a gun and it only has one. It didn't have very many bullets because, I mean, we don't know what this monster is. There was a polar bear. Like a gun could be useful in some
Mm-hmm.
situations here. Anyway, and then Shrapnel Man is still obsessed with Kate, and he's like, don't trust a word she says. She'll do anything to get away. And then Jack's like, what did she do? Even though he says it's none of our business. He's like, what did she do? And then, of course, Shrapnel Man's not going to tell him. He just says, I want to talk to her alone. And he goes, she got to you too. Because he can tell that Jack's smitten, I guess. I don't know. And this man is so obsessed with Kate. Anyway, now we're back to the farmer. Flashback. We're back to the farmer. They're in the truck. Her hair's blowing in her face. The windows are down. She grabs the farmer's steering wheel and the truck flips. It's on fire.
Why?
Oh, shit.
Why does she grab the steering wheel? I
Know.
watched it. Why did you do it? Just for dramatic effect because it's television?
Pretty much. Yep.
Boo.
Yep. And then because Kate's not that hardcore, she does pull the farmer out of the truck to safety, but while she's doing it, she accidentally rips off his fake arm. It's kind of funny.
Yes.
And at this point, there's so much sweaty hair in her face, and she is caught. Shrapnel Man's right there. And I did write, I hope the farmer lives,
Yeah, I do too.
Now she's with Shrapnel Man talking alone in the little hut back on the beach like he wanted. And he just goes, what was your favor? And if you recall, when they were on the plane before the crash started to happen, she said, can you do me a favor? And then the plane crash, or, stuff. He got knocked out by luggage and stuff. And she goes, I just wanted to make sure the farmer got his $23,000 because he had one hell of a mortgage. So we are seeing over and over again that Kate is not that bad of a human. Like
No.
she is, so even if she did do something to get arrested for or be in trouble, I don't think she's a psychopath or anything. Like she's
hardcore, but she has a heart.
Yes. Shrapnel Man is trying to get to Kate, and he even says, are you going to do it or what? And it's like, now Jack and Hurley are talking, and Hurley calls her a fugitive. And this is when Jack finds out from Hurley that Kate has the gun, and he gets all like, because he left her alone with Shrapnel Man. So he freaks out and starts running. She's walking slowly away from the tent, and we hear a gunshot. And I assumed that she just left the gun with Shrapnel Guy, and he shot himself. That's what I assumed.
Too.
But that's not what happened.
No.
So then we realize as Sawyer walks out of the tent that it was Sawyer. But get this, Sawyer's an idiot. he can kill a polar bear, but not a person, apparently. So Sawyer shot him in the chest instead of like the head or something that would be a more of a sure thing.
The look on Sawyer's face, his eyes when he realizes that he missed, essentially, the fear and regret was heartbreaking. It was good job, Josh Holloway.
And even though Sawyer's supposed to be this badass, also has feelings. So that's nice.
Yes.
And then Jack's like, well, you messed it up, and now it's going to take hours for him to die. But we kind of pan away a little bit, and then the gurgling from the Shrapnel Man kind of stops, and then he's dead. So then we're all left to wonder, did Jack do something to hasten this along, even though he didn't want to?
I hope so. I
He must have,
really
though, because
hope
he literally just said this is going to take hours, and then he was
because he said
dead
it's going
within
to take
minutes.
hours for him to bleed out. But I'm like, you shot him in the lung. He's probably going to drown in his own
Yeah.
blood.
So I don't know. Anyway, he
I don't
died
know.
quicker than we thought. And now we're back with Locke. The sun's out. Locke's on the beach with his whistle. And then we realize, oh, I get it. It's a dog whistle. So he's not just a weirdo making flutes or whatever.
Right.
He's trying to find the dog. And then here it comes, a little puppy muffin Labrador. Vincent comes running out of the forest. Locke goes and gets Michael, wakes him. This is the part I thought it was early, wakes him up. And Locke is like, hey, I found the dog. And he lets Michael take credit. So I thought that was nice.
Yeah, of course he did.
He's like, I know it's been rough for Walt. His mom just died. The dog's over there if you want to surprise him with it, whatever. And I wrote, he's not just a weirdo with orange slices in his mouth. So, and now we're back to Kate and Jack sitting on the beach. And Kate says, I want to tell you what I did. And Jack says, I don't want to know. He's gone back and forth about wanting to know this whole episode.
Make a decision.
Yes.
Jack.
And then he goes on to say that who they were before doesn't really matter. 3 days ago, we all died. And I wrote, should we all just stop watching now? Because the show goes on for what, like 6 more seasons or whatever. But right there is what we need to know. Anyway, he says 3 days ago we all died. We should all be able to start over. Hence the Tabula, whatever.
Tabula Rasa, yeah.
That's it. And then I wrote, did he really just give the whole show away in the 3rd episode? But again, in the moment, watching it for the first time, you're not taking it there yet, usually. And now it's kind of we're wrapping up the episode. We're getting kind of a look at what everybody's up to, sort of kind of on the beach. Hurley is listening to some music on a Discman, and he's dumping sand out of his shoes, and it just goes on for a really long time.
Ages.
And then I Shazammed the song. It's Joe Purdy, Wash Away, which I didn't know that song, but
yeah, no, I thought it was going to be like Jack Johnson or Dave Matthews or something.
Yeah, but this song, if you do kind of listen, it makes sense for this whole idea of clean slate, like washing away before blah blah blah. And then we see that Boone fixed Shannon's sunglasses, so now she's all excited because they were probably like $1 million. Saeed throws Sawyer an apple. Would a terrorist do that, Sawyer? I mean, come on. So
I mean, the evil queen did give Snow White an apple, so
I guess that's true.
And this is on ABC, so Sawyer's a Disney princess.
Charlie puts more tape on his fingers, and this time it says late instead of fate. And then we cut to kind of a slow motion moment of Walt seeing Michael with Vincent, and he is super stoked. His dog's there. They're like so happy. It's a happy moment. And then we see Locke over to the side watching this moment happen. And you think he's going to just be like, oh, isn't that nice? But there's some weird ass music, and they zoom in on his face. And then we're like back to Creeper. Like, is this, he comes off so creepy.
Terry O'Quinn's neutral face is just, ooh.
Yeah. So now we think Locke is up to something again. Like, we go back and forth with him a lot, So we're like, he helped with the dog, but what's this about? And then, bam, lost. Yeah, that. So, okay, these questions for this episode. Yeah. Here's what I have. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Why does Netflix have commercials now? It's very annoying.
I'm watching it on Hulu, and same.
Oh, okay. I mean, I could pay extra, but I'm not gonna because it's annoying. So, and they're usually short, but still. Okay, what is Locke up to? Because what is that face at the end? What did Kate do?
What did Kate do?
We still don't know.
No.
And then I wrote, do we even need to keep watching because Jack just said they're all dead? Again, why can't Kate keep hair out of her face? And then I also wrote, did Jack kill Shrapnel Guy? Not kill, but like, what's the word I'm looking for? Have mercy on Shrapnel Guy? because he did die faster than he said he would. And back to that. Why didn't Sawyer shoot him in the head?
Right.
Something a little more succinct.
Maybe he was just
I have
thinking that
heard
it
of
was
people
going to be less
missing.
messy.
Maybe I have heard of people though missing even when they shoot in the head. So I don't know.
Right.
And then this is another thing, and maybe it's where do all these other people on the beach go? Because I don't remember this many survivors in later seasons. I know we end up in some different locales at different points, but like there's like 40 people on the beach when they're digging
Yeah.
through luggage. Where do these people all end up? Like
Yeah,
Rose. Rose in the last 2 episodes played a very important part, and now we haven't seen her at all in this episode.
haven't seen her.
What was chasing Michael before he saw
Oh,
Sun's
yeah.
boobies? And how did Vincent survive the jungle monster for 3 days, but yet it took the pilot and seems to have, killed everybody else?
Right. I feel, and this is just me trying to remember and trying to answer that question. Doesn't the jungle monster that we will learn about later, it's a judgment thing, right? It like looks at you and then decides if you're good or bad.
And the dog would be pretty innocent at most. Yeah, that makes sense. I never found that. Okay, what were your questions? Did you have?
All right. My questions are, what did Kate do? How long has Kate been using Annie? Because when Farmer Ray said, "What's your name?" She went,
Ray.
Annie, just right off the bat.
Yeah.
Why is Kate in Australia? Because she doesn't really tell. Like, she kind of tells us, but why is she actually in Australia?
That was a lie.
Yes. What is the Marshal's deal? Yeah, he's such a creep.
For Shrapnel Man, but yes,
Shrapnel Man,
also.
yes. We know the answer. We're going to find out in the next episode, but what's the miracle that happened to Locke? We know what we're going to be told next episode. I remember the reveal, the gasp I gasped.
And I gasped. in a later episode when we find out about him and his father too. Like that episode.
Yes.
That poor man. Like he's a creeper sometimes, but he's also had it rough.
Yes.
Anyway,
yeah.
Keep going.
Why does Kate grab the steering wheel? And was this the first time that Sawyer has shot someone? Because like he swaggered out of that shanty, but the way that he just look in his eyes when he realized he didn't actually kill Shrapnel Man. Oh,
yeah,
fear. And is this the first time that Jack has ended a life on purpose? Because I think that Jack does end up mercy killing Shrapnel Man. So I wonder if this is because he's like, I'm not a killer, Kate. Like,
yeah,
now you are.
I think like in doctors, that oath, like do no harm.
Yes, the Hippocratic.
He's not doing well. Like I don't know, like in some ways, I don't know. I don't feel like he did do harm by doing that, I guess.
No, but, again, like I understand keeping him alive for the first maybe 48 hours because you think that rescue is coming, that it's clear that it's not. And this man is in pain, screaming. Just be like, hey, dude, do you want me to, should we just do this? Just put my hand over your mouth. You can't fight because you've got shrapnel in you.
Yes, he can fight. He almost killed Kate.
But do you want me to bring you to the other side of the island? Do we just put you like under the water? What do you want? I don't know. Yeah, and then Nick didn't really have any questions. The only question he had is, why can I hear the dog whistle? Because it's television. Was Panther.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, I forget that Nick is also our fresh eyes. So
yes, he's our third pod member.
Yeah, sort of, kind of. But all right, now I need this promised Marlee Matlin story.
Oh, sure. So Marlee Matlin story. After I graduated from grad school, I worked at a Broadway costume build house for several years. And I slowly worked from being like the overhired office guy to being a junior project manager. Trey is running the build on this, not actually building any of the clothes, but he's like making sure that everything is there. And one of the shows that we built for was Deaf West's production of Spring Awakening on Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
Where, like, Spring Awakening, one of my favorite musicals, from the one that Tony in 2007 for Best Musical. They did another production of it with Deaf West, which is a deaf theater company, and they had both deaf and hearing actors playing the same roles. So you've
Oh,
got
cool.
some speaking roles, but you've also got somebody like doing ASL and
Signing.
acting real
Yeah.
well. Yeah. So the two actors that played, there's one woman character in Spring Awakening, everybody else is a teen, but the two actors were, the hearing actor was Cameron Manheim, and the deaf actor was Marley Matlin.
Well, I
So
know
they come
Cameron
in.
knows ASL.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They came in, they were both lovely. And, you know, one of the things that with Marley Matlin, she was like, what, she had her interpreter with her. And it was one of those things of, when you're talking to Marley, she's always like, please talk to me. I'm going to be looking at my interpreter and you. Please speak as slowly and clearly as possible so that way I can maintain eye contact with you. But sometimes I have to look at my interpreter, who I don't remember his name. And I did. She was lovely. At the end of the process, and I'm being very professional, right? I adore Cameron Manheim. I adore Marley Matlin. But, you know, we're at the end of the process. We've built their costumes. It's the last day of our process before they go and do the Broadway. And I was like, great, that's it. Thank you so much. You've been really lovely to work with, Miss Matlin. And she said, I'm a hugger. Can I hug you? And I went, yeah, absolutely. And this tiny woman, I'm 6 foot tall. She's not. But this tiny woman just comes up and envelops me in a hug, like the warmest hug. Like I was literally touched by an angel. I know that's Maura Downey or whatever her name was, but she's just such a sweet angel human. She's like, thank you so much. This has been great. And I just want to hug you. I'm like, great. That's the only hug that
I
I've
love
received
that.
after one of these because, yeah,
Yeah,
she's
I
just such a
love
sweet
that.
human. Yeah, I love that story.
And they're both Law and Order cameo
Yes.
people too.
Yes. And
And
Marley
Marley's
Matt.
episode is actually about euthanasia, one of her episodes.
Oh,
She
was
helps
it?
assist someone die. Yeah. Her and Richard Belzer have a good back and forth about that
Oh.
in that episode.
My biggest touchstone with Marley Matlin is The West Wing.
Oh, see, I never watched that.
Oh, it's good once. It's good twice. After that, you
Yeah.
don't need it anymore.
Cameron Manheim was on, she was a regular when they brought the regular Law and Order back. She was like
Yes.
the head honcho, but now it's Maura Tierney, who's from ER.
Do you
Lots
want
of
to
crossover
know?
with ER and Law and Order too, which is like
Right.
my favorite.
My touchstone for Cameron Manheim
On
in
The Practice.
what's that?
She was on The Practice, right? That show, The
Yes.
Practice.
But for me, it's so silly. In the late 90s, early aughts, when miniseries were still a thing, there was a miniseries called The 10th Kingdom.
Don't remember that.
It's a bunch of storybook things. I begged my mom to buy the 6 VHS set. She's like, it's expensive. I know, but I really want it. And she did. Bless her soul. I don't know where those VHSs are anymore. But Cameron Manheim plays Snow White in one of the episodes of The 10th Kingdom.
Neat. I like that.
Yeah.
Cameron Manheim too. I remember when her son's kind of a Disney kid now, and he was on Dancing with the Stars, and so she was in the crowd a lot and stuff. I don't know. She just seems like a cool chick. She's got earrings all the way up her ear.
Yeah.
I think she's cool.
She seems really chill.
Yeah. All right. Is that, what else do we do at the end of these? We do the questions. Nothing's been answered. Still no answers for anything.
Yeah, there's still really no answers. That's not going to happen for a moment.
But yeah, I did think it was interesting. Like I said, I had never really heard what was that title of this again? Tabula Rasa. If I had heard that before, it didn't stick in my brain. So when I Googled it, I was like, ooh, like it's all coming together.
The title has always stuck with me, and I've looked it up several times, but my brain must be the blankest of slates because I could never keep it in my head what it actually was.
Well, and I never paid attention to titles of TV episodes until streaming came along. Like I
Yeah.
never really, because network TV, you didn't usually
They don't tell
see.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, but I think I can speak for both of us when I say one of our favorite episodes I will always remember the name of is The Constant.
Yeah. When does that
That's a good one.
Trey, go to your
It's
spreadsheet. When does The Constant happen?
and that is one where I'm
Season
like,
4.
I know. That's one where it literally has stuck in my brain. The name of
Yes.
that will never go away, you know?
Yeah. And then like whenever I happen upon the what a constant in literature, in
Anything.
any sort of media, I'm like, oh, this character's name.
You know, and when we talked about doing this podcast, I think at one point, maybe we talked about it. I don't know. Or maybe I just thought about it. Because a lot of other rewatch podcasts, they don't always go in order. They'll kind of like pick their favorite,
Yep.
But I feel like with Lost, we have to watch in order. Because even if we watch
Yeah,
The Constant
absolutely.
out of order, I'd forget why that person's there. What's that for? Like, even in these first 3 episodes, things have come back to me where I'm like, oh, didn't remember that, you know?
Right. So. And like with The Constant, you know, there are 2 characters that are super important in that, and I remember both of those characters and my feelings around them. You know what I like? As much as I love The Constant, I remember nothing about it.
We remember that moment.
I remember the moment and the feeling.
Yes, brother. That's a clue.
Brother. Oh,
Okay.
I get so excited just thinking about rewatching Lost. I know it is
I know.
and there's part of me that's like, you know, I kind of wish that we were doing this a little bit like faster. I also understand why we're not. You are a goddess. Get an intern. I don't know.
Every once in a while, someone will be like, "Oh, I wanted to leave you a message on your Instagram, but I didn't know if you'd get it." And I was like, "Do you think I have a social media manager or something? This is all me. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not." And even my podcast, someone one day they were like, "Oh, I thought that was your full-time thing. You think I'm making money?"
So what Natasha is saying
but...
is that she is everything in this. I'm just a pretty voice. She does everything else. If we could get some sponsors, she can get paid. Yeah.
But yeah, I keep telling myself I'm gonna actually start like an LLC to be more legit and like actually ask for money.
I do the same
But
thing.
that also seems
embroidery.
like work and taxes and I don't know. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Is there anything we need to before we end this dog and pony show? Is there anything you need to?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I can't wait to watch the Oscars. The Oscars are coming up this weekend.
I meant to say that at the top. Like for those of you, we recorded this before the Oscars, but I believe the episode will come out after.
Probably.
So obviously we are people that will be watching the Oscars, but we don't.
Probably texting each other the entire time.
Right. I think that's it.
Yeah. Catch you on the flip side. Oh, maybe not. Nope. Take that back.
Speaking of March being around the corner, I have jury duty for March and April.
Were you selected or?
Well, I got the notice to appear I have to call in every week and see if I have to actually go in. But
and wait, how long is your jury service?
2 months.
2 months? Huh. Ours is. I had federal jury duty last year sometime. It was 2 weeks. And like 1 week it was just like, we don't need you. Second week it was like, yeah, come in. Yeah, you want to sit? Yeah, we'll bring you into this room. My number was never called, so I went in. That's a case, and then I left.
I think living in a less populated place. They don't have as big a pool to pick from. But what I'm hoping is, I'm almost hoping I get called in right away, because if I get called in right away, I'm kind of like done for the 2 months.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Like the way it is in New York. I don't know about.
Yeah, so that's what I'm hoping. And do you remember when I was on a jury in college? Do you remember when I got picked?
No.
Do you remember that at all?
No. We'll save that story for next time.
Such a tease. And then I'll have more deets about my actual jury duty in the moment.
Yes.
I'll have then and now comparisons.
Yes.
All right. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Talking with Tasha plus Trey Lostcast, episode 3, Tabula Rasa. So what are we thinking so far? thoughts, comments, concerns. Are you watching for the first time along with us? Have you watched before and you're rewatching with us? Tell us what you think. What are your theories? What are you feeling? What are you thinking? Let us know. And you can let us know at talkingwithtasha.com, talkingwithtashapod@gmail.com. If you go to talkingwithtasha.com, it's linked to all my social media. And Trey is also linked on some of these blog posts on talkingwithtasha.com if you'd also like to follow him. Make sure you rate, review, subscribe, comment, like, share, do all that stuff. It really does help a sister out. Obviously, if you're listening to this, you know where to listen. But just in case you don't know, you can listen at talkingwithtasha.com, Spotify, Apple, Pandora, Amazon. I think that's it. There's too many things to remember at the end. See, most smart people would record it once and just copy paste into every episode, but no, I keep it fresh and new for you. You're welcome. Okay, I think that's everything. Coming up in the next couple episodes, I have some fun stuff with Local Lou podcast. You can check her out. But until then, be safe, make good choices, wash your hands, just try to be a good person, stay hydrated, and peace out, Brussels sprout. Bye.